What's up, Daddy? So I really wanted to put something together like a more stripped down performance track for my newest song, Pink and Green. As a producer, something that I love to do is make a track, release the track, get some feedback on the track, and then take that track and rework it and strip it down a little bit. A long time ago, I released a song called When You Went Away, and I did a video of When You Went Away with sort of a stripped down acoustic track. And this is sort of how I go about making those, is I'll take the fundamental components of a song, bring it down to just like maybe one or two instruments, and then turn that into a performance video for some extra content. So I have this amazing guitar. It's actually a baritone guitar, so it's tuned down, I believe, a fourth from a normal guitar. I don't know if you can really hear it, but it sounds absolutely incredible. It's just a gorgeous instrument. And so what I really want to do here is basically just have me and the guitar and see what that track might sound like. So I'm going to dive in and let's see what we come up with. Can you hear the dudes mowing my lawn right now? Are they mowing my house? Okay, hold please. Okay, this might continue to be a problem, so if you hear lawnmowers in the background, just try to ignore it. So this is really cool. It's just an effects pedal. It gives really good reverb. And let me just show you here. I'll pick up the camera just so you can sort of see what I've got going on. So this right here is an interface. The microphone runs through this interface. Any of these effects pedals, the guitar is going to plug into this, then the output is going to go right here into this interface here. So this is sort of like the hub that then translates all of the sonic energy and puts it into the DAW, which is Digital Audio Workstation. That's where all my music is mixed. Within Logic, okay, so the DAW that I'm using, Logic, it has native reverb in it. So I could just have my guitar use some of this digital reverb, and it's pretty cool. But what I think is even more rewarding is using more of an analog sound. So if I just get a clean signal here. So that's just the clean signal straight out of the guitar. If I add the analog reverb, listen to this shimmer that it adds. It's so cool. So I just think that reverb is so much more rewarding for what I'm trying to do. What I really want to do is just kind of get a clean signal, some really simple guitar. Bring that clean signal up again. Just kind of like... And her dress was pink and green. You know what I mean? Like super simple, really easy. And then maybe add some of that shimmer in the choruses in the way background. Green, and I think she's all I ever wanted. But have the choruses be really clean. I can't not make that face when I play guitar. I don't know what that is about me, but I just can't do it. So anyway, what I think I'm going to do now is just comp some of these guitar parts, show you guys what I can do with the guitar once it's in the system, and sort of start building this track and show you guys how that goes. All right, so we're in the DAW now. I have these headphones in just so I can hear the click and it's not going to annoy you. But I'm just going to start putting down some really simple guitar parts here. So I have a couple of those. The great thing about this is I can slice this up in a whole bunch of different ways. So if there were some parts that I liked and there were some parts that I didn't like, I can get rid of the parts where I made a mistake, I can keep the parts that I like, and I can splice all that together. I'm going to go on a different track now and turn on some of that reverb that I was talking about before. Okay, so we have that reverb now. I'm going to do probably 4 reverb tracks, maybe 6 main guitar tracks, splice them all up so I can keep the stuff that is good, get rid of the stuff that has mistakes in it, drag and drop from different clips, and sort of compile what is the best guitar take. And then I'm going to use that take as a reference and record over it again to double it. Then I'm going to pan those things hard right and hard left. I'll show you all this in a second so that I can really get a thick guitar sound. I'm going to do all that, record all that, put it up there, put some effects on, and then I'll show you what I've done so I don't have to bore you with all of the monotonous engineering. We'll do that in a second. So let me just show you dry. Over here I have some effects and stuff. I'm going to take those out. And let me just show you dry what this main sounds like here. Now I'll add some of these effects back in and show you what I've done. Just to add a little bit here, I'll show you. This is a CLA guitar effect rack here. So we have a little bit of compression that just makes the soft parts louder and the loud parts softer, so it evens everything out a little bit. Some treble and bass just to give the darker parts some color and the brighter stuff some bite. A little bit of reverb and delay. And over here you see this knob. This pans the sound either from the left to the right, and I'm not doing it right down the middle because that's where I want my voice to be. So I'm panning this all the way to the left, and the main double over here is panned all the way to the right, which makes the guitar kind of come at you from both sides. And then my voice can be right down the middle, and they aren't going to be competing for space. So I'll show you what that sounds like with both of them played together. I'll also show you here when I zoom in really, really far. This is like a milliseconds difference, but they're delayed a bit. This is just a little bit after this, and that makes them sound really thick because they're just slightly out of time with each other. I'll show you some of this reverb stuff that I've done as well. It's very subtle, but that pedal just adds some great analog color to it. I know it sounds kind of weird on its own, but check out what it does when you add the chorus parts to it. So all that sounded really saucy. Then at the end, in the original track, there's this trumpet part that comes in. It's my trumpet impression, pretty good, right? So I wanted to replicate that, but obviously for a live performance, I'm not going to be able to play a trumpet. So I decided to replicate that with a solo. And so I've done that with some of that reverb, and I haven't really processed this much yet, but it still sounds great in the mix. Take a listen to this solo part here. And that has that same shimmery reverb on it. Another thing that's really interesting here, there's a tool called automation where you can actually draw volume differences. And that just gives that a nice elevation, because it was in the performance of the guitar, when I slid up to that note, I lost a lot of volume. So I've been able to add it back by drawing it in, which is really exciting, I think. So that's the engineering, which is just getting the audio into the computer. I've obviously done a little bit of producing, a little bit of adding that special sauce, the echo and the compression and, some of those things from that CLA guitar rig that I showed you. But I want to process it a little bit more. I want to compress each and every one of these tracks individually, and I also want to do some EQing. I'm going to put this on a loop here. This is the guitar that you've already heard. We'll actually do both of them kind of at the same time. This is the guitar you've already heard at the very beginning. And we bring up an EQ. This is going to show us the frequency curve of the guitar. And you can already see there's a lot of buildup in this sort of bottom region, but there's not a lot up here. And so what I want to try to do is smooth that out a little bit so it's not so bottom heavy. So, that's probably going to be a dip around 150 hertz, a pretty deep dip there. And maybe a high-end boost. I'll probably fool around with this not on camera, so I don't have to waste your time with that. But let's just even see what a difference this made. So it's very subtle, but you hear the strings a little bit more. That's that high-end energy, and you lose some of that boominess. So I actually like that quite a lot. And now I want to go in and compress these tracks just a little bit more. I actually have a compressor here already. The cool thing about Logic is that it has a bunch of like presets. So you can literally just go in here and say, okay, I'm doing an electric guitar. So let's just see what it automatically does for me. I see over here that the auto settings turn some distortion on. I'm already running some distortion with my CLA guitar plugin, so I'm probably not going to do that. I brought the threshold here up a lot so that the compressor hits at about -5 dB. And I'm actually going to bring this attack down as well. I definitely think those two things accomplish that. With this EQ move here, and with the compressor. So those are things that I'm probably going to do all over this track. I'm going to compress the reverb even a little bit, make sure that I'm rolling out any of the like muddy frequencies that don't sound good to the ear. I'll probably be doing that on this entire track. So once I add EQ and compression, I already have the effects in, so the guitar is pretty much done. And then all I really have to do to finish this track is record vocals, put those on there, and then the track's going to be finished. And then I'm going to have this really nice live feeling session of Pink and Green, but with just a guitar. And then I can use that to try to make some cool video content out of it. So this was obviously a pretty easy look at what production can do. And I obviously just wanted to show you like how fun it is to take a song like Pink and Green that's kind of like a big band track and turn it into something a lot more simple and subtle. I'll show you what I do with the vocals next time, but thank you for joining me on this, and make sure to like and subscribe, Daddy. We'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.